All right, let's find some common reference angles. And remember that our reference angles are all between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Find an angle in each quadrant with a common reference angle with 135 degrees from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. All right, so there is our unit circle right there. And the first thing we need to do is find out where is 135 degrees. I think 135 degrees would probably be right smack dab in the middle between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, right? Because 135 degrees is 45 degrees from 90. It's 45 degrees from 180. So that puts it about right there. So there's our 135 degrees. So what we want to do is head to the different quadrants. We'll start with this one here and find angles that are 45 degrees past the quadrantal angle. Okay, so we did one more here. All right. Now in the first quadrant, so I got fighting mosquitoes here. In the first quadrant, we have uh, about this area right here. And to find out exactly what that is, what we can do is take that 135 and subtract 90 degrees. Okay. And that's going to give us exactly 45 degrees. So 45 degrees is the reference angle. Okay. Now to find it in quadrant, what color did I do? I didn't do a color for the original one. There we go. That's how we get 45. Now to get it in quadrant 3, we have to go 45 past 180. So that's pretty easy. All we have to do is take 180 degrees, add 45 degrees, and that's going to be 215 degrees. So that'll be right there. That's going to be 215 degrees. That's our quadrant 3. Now, our quadrant 4. It's time for quadrant 4 now. And quadrant 4, we need to go 45 past 270, or we could also do 360 minus uh, or 360 minus 45 is another way we could do it. But I'm just going to do 270 because we know that this is 270 and we need to come another 45 degrees. So I'll do 270 plus 45 degrees, and that's going to be 315 degrees. So now we have our 4 quadrants. We have the angles, all four angles that have a common reference angle of 45 degrees, which is what we wanted here for the problem. So we've got quadrant 1, that's 45 degrees. Oops. 45 degrees. Quadrant 2, that's going to be the 135 that we were originally given. Then we got 215 here. And then quadrant 4, we have 315. Okay, let's go and check this other one. Do this one together too. Now we've got 337 degrees, and we've got to find it for each one. So 337 degrees, that's going to be in quadrant 4. See, this is 360. So 337, probably be right about here. 337 degrees. We need to find all the other ones here. So, same thing as before. We have, let's do quadrant 1 there. And let's just do that in blue like we did last time. We didn't do quadrant 2. I'll just do that here. Quadrant 3, I think we did in green. And quadrant 4, which we are already given, we did in pink. All right. So, how are we going to find quadrant 1? Well, all we have to do is take that 360 and subtract that 337. And that's going to be 23 degrees. So that is our reference angle, 23 degrees. So in this one, we went 23 degrees above the axis. And in the original one, we were 23 degrees below the axis. Now, another thing we can do here, we know that it's going to be right here, the reference angle. So for quadrant 2, we can do 180 minus that 23 degrees. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be 157 degrees. be 157 degrees. Okay. And then down here, we stopped 23 degrees short of 180. Now we're going to be going 23 degrees, and that's probably an awful spot for me to put. We have to go 23 degrees more than that 180 degree quadrantal angle. That's 180 right there. So we'll do 180 plus 23 degrees. And when you put that together, that's going to be 203 degrees. So now we've got our four angles. We've got quadrant 1, it's 23 degrees. Quadrant 2, we've got 157 degrees. Quadrant 3, we've got 203 degrees. And quadrant 4, that's the original they gave us, that's 337 degrees. All right, let's go to this last one here. I want you guys to try this one. And then when you're done, I will have the solution. So for this one, you're finding a common reference angle with 209 degrees. Have that. I'll be back in just a moment with my solution. Okay, you're unpausing me, so hopefully you went ahead and did this one. So 209, that would put you in quadrant 3, which would probably be right about there. Okay, and then this, of course, is 180, 209. So you're going from here to here. Let's see, do that in green again. There we go. So from 180 down here to what we're saying is 209 degrees, that is 29 degrees. So to get quadrant 2, we're going to do 180 minus 29 degrees, and we're going to get 151 degrees. So that's going to be this one right about there. That'll be 151 degrees. All right. What about on the opposite side? The opposite side, 151 to 180 is 29. So this is 0. So we know that this one's going to be 29 degrees. That one's pretty easy to figure out. Then the last one is going to be down here. If we're going 29 past the x-axis, quadrant 4 will be 29 below the x-axis. So that would be 360. I want to do it in the actual thing here. 360. Take away that 29 degrees. And that's going to be 331 degrees. So your quadrant 1 is 29 degrees. That is the reference angle. Then you got 151. Then you've got 209. And then you have 331. Now, a good way to check your work on these kinds of problems, just want to finish with this, is to simply add your quadrant 1 and your quadrant 4 and your quadrant 3 and then your quadrant 2. And the sum of those should be 360. 209 plus 150 is 360. And 29 plus 331, guess what, is also 360. If we take this strategy back over here, you can see that we're going to have the same exact situation. It's 23 plus 337, that's 360. And 203 plus 157, also 360. And then that very first one that we did, same deal, yo. It's 135 plus 215, that's 360. And then 45 plus 315, also 360. That's a way you can check your work on these kinds of problems.